Welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Stories with Ben Slater. Happy holidays, Ben. What are we talking about today, bud?
Happy holidays to you too, Pete, and happy holidays to everyone out there. And we're going to talk a little bit about realtor appreciation and how realtors work and how we get paid. That was kind of a joke on the appreciation part, but I wanted to really go underneath the surface and explain to people what we do, how we're compensated, and it's also my contention that realtors are one of the greatest examples of capitalism at work benefiting the consumer in America.
Yeah, there is a lot of competition for realtors. Like, I know dozens of realtors, in networking groups and friends and family and stuff like that. And I believe that everybody does. And how are you the one that's chosen out of all their friends and stuff? It's got to be hard.
Yeah, well, that's a great point. And that's why there's actually a very high failure rate for realtors in the first couple of years. There's a great number of realtors out there. There's a great number of people that have to buy or sell, so there's a need for a lot of realtors. But it's extremely competitive, which obviously benefits the consumer. The more competition, the better for the home seller or the home buyer. And also, I wanted to explain just a little bit about how we're paid and commissions, and just note that there is no set rate. So everything is negotiable, which is another example of capitalism. So there's no rule that says you have to use a realtor. People can buy and sell on their own, and we've had videos, or we'll have future videos on the benefits of using a realtor versus selling on your own. But and you're also free to negotiate commissions with your realtor.
Okay. Well, let's talk about from the listing side of things first.
Right. So the other thing I wanted to mention too is we're also extremely transparent. So I don't know if you've ever gone to have you bought a cell phone recently?
Yeah, I have.
I bought one, and I'm a pretty sharp guy with numbers, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out what the actual cost of the phone was, from the X fees per month, and are you leasing versus buying, and this and that. Yeah, similarly, if you have to use a lawyer for an accident or for a divorce, you're not always going to know exactly what you're going to have to pay. And with a contractor, similar circumstances, things can come up in the middle of the job that'll increase the price. With the listing side, when you're ready to sell your house, we have a contract and we have the numbers right in front of you, and you see the exact amount you're going to pay based on the sales price of the house. And that price will not change at all.
Well, that's cool. All right. So talk to me about the buyer side, the value of a realtor to the buyer.
Okay. And before we get to that, I just want to back up real quick. With the price not changing, that means it doesn't matter how many hours of work we do. If the one deal falls through and we have to remarket it, there's no other extra fees. And in that listing commission fee, and this is explained to the seller, we offer out a portion of that commission to the buy side, to the buyer's agent. So it's basically baked into the price. And that's pretty much, and you don't have to do that again, like everything's negotiable, but it's been found that's the best way to net the highest value for your house. So, and that's all explained.
Cool.
So, and getting to the buy side,
yeah.
Similarly, everything is spelled out up front. So you go into a buyer agency contract and we explain to the buyers, this is how much we charge, and we are going to request this amount in commission from the sellers. Now, if the seller refuses to pay that, the buyer can pay that out of their pocket. But when you think about it, in reality, it's 6 in one, half in the other, because let's say the seller's selling a house for $200,000, and he was going to pay $10,000 in commission and split, 5 and 5. So he's going to net $190, right? You following the math?
Mm-hmm. I am.
Let's say that seller says, I'm not going to pay the $5,000. The buyer has to pay the $5,000. Well, the buyer's going to say, all right, well, I'm going to pay $195 because $195 plus 5 is $200. So it all kind of works out, which is why that happens. But again, with the buy side commission, that's for, sometimes we see one house and they love it and we get it. Sometimes I've had buyers I've worked with for 6 years, off and on, and looked at 30 or 40 houses. And you also get the benefit of contacting me literally any day of the week, any time of the day. Hey, Ben, I have a problem with my plumbing. Do you know a plumber? Hey, my mortgage went up. Can you help me with this? I have a question. Any questions at all? So you have a realtor for life based on that service, which is a pretty good value.
That's awesome. And so a lot of the value of a realtor comes after the house is under contract, both on the buyer's and the sell side. So can you talk to me about that a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you mentioned that because most people don't really realize that. And that's why they'll see a number and be like, oh, the house sold in a couple days and that's a lot of money and realtors get paid too much. the reality of it is that, yes, getting a buyer for the house is difficult, but once the house is under contract, you have to make sure that buyer stays in the deal. You have to negotiate through inspections. You have to negotiate through the mortgage contingency. You have to coordinate with the title company. And as we talked about in a lot of our other stories with actual clients, a lot of stuff comes up. So it's really the skills of the agent. And the same thing on the buy side. The buyer's agent has to negotiate those things as well on behalf of the buyer. So really our hard work comes in between the time the house is under contract and settlement. Not always. Obviously, sometimes it's hard to find the house or sell the house. Sometimes they take long too. But the point of it is that, yes, a lot of work is done between under contract date and settlement.
Okay, cool. And the holidays now, it's the holiday season. Is this a big action time, or what can people do during the holidays to get ready maybe for a spring sale?
Well, they'll be getting a call from me for sure, because I call all my people. I try and do it 3 or 4 times a year, but always the holidays is a good time to reminder, and just for me to be thankful to them and reach out and thank them for trusting me with their needs. And it's a great time to start planning for next year, especially if you do want to buy or sell in the spring. So that's what's going on, and I hope everybody has a peaceful and healthy holiday.
All right. Well, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the number they can call you, or your website?
Yeah, the best way is 610-348-0446 is my cell. They can obviously message me anytime or go to benslater@remax.com.
Very cool. All right. Well, this has been another episode of Real Estate Stories with Ben Slater. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.